Hello and welcome to the Hume podcast from and Lowell. For those of you who don't know us, Hume is a recruitment training business co-founded by myself, Ed Khan, and Laura Hopes.
And each week we're going to be giving you 10-minute snippets into our world of recruitment, tips and tricks to help you on your journey as an agency recruiter, and hopefully some laughs along the way too. We hope you guys enjoy.
Welcome to episode.
Welcome to episode. We literally have no idea. This could be, and it could be released. This could be irrelevant by the time we release this one. We could have a baby.
We could have a baby. We'll have Photoshop in the baby.
By the time we actually release this, it won't be relevant. Because what we are talking about today is all of this speculation that's happening in the market. And we just wanted to, I guess, put our lens on it for a quick 8 to 10 minutes as usual, and just give you guys our thoughts on what we're seeing and hearing. Because obviously, all of our clients are recruitment agencies. We're very much entrenched in this space. And I think if you were to jump onto LinkedIn, today, all you're seeing from the large tech companies, delivery went into administration in Australia yesterday. All we're seeing from the large tech companies are layoffs. I think it's painting a fairly bleak picture. And this is always what happens with a recession, right? We start to get that fear, and then that builds, and then the fear turns into the recession itself. And obviously there are other contributing factors, but I guess we just wanted to give what we're seeing on the ground with the recruitment agencies we work with, just to give people some comfort that it's not all falling apart.
Yeah, I think if you relied on looking at socials, you would assume the market is completely tanked. I mean, It's all doom and gloom. And what I'm seeing in every sort of agency owner that I've spoken to over the last month or so, they have seen a slight softening. However, nothing significant. And so much so that no one is slowing down on their rookie hiring or experienced hires. They are foreseeing further hires in early next year. I mean, just even looking at Laura, rookie course in Feb, it's November 17th when we're recording this. We've already got 10 people signed up for the Feb intake. I imagine we'll have 30 to 40 rookies on that intake. And so that's a nice barometer in terms of, for the last month or so, we've had a consistent stream of rookies in our course, usually around 25 average every month coming through the course. That hasn't slowed down. And I think when there is actually a pinch with agencies, the first people to stop getting hired are rookies. Because experienced hires will always happen, regardless of recession. They'll always still happen, but it's the rookies, and people stop hiring rookies and inexperienced because they stop getting the work in.
Yeah.
And that's, for us, hasn't softened.
No, and it's been consistent. And if the bookings that we're receiving for Feb are anything to go by, it's going to be a stonker, in terms of. And I know there's other contributing factors, the fact that we're not running a course in December and January, but it's a very good sign. And I put out a poll on LinkedIn last week, just asking recruitment agency owners, like, what's your plan for next year? And the poll options were hiring rookies exclusively, hiring experienced consultants exclusively, just focusing on building the people that we've got now, so like not growing next year, or a mix of all of the above. And I think it was 51% said a mix of all of the above. Only 14% of agencies that responded to that poll said that they weren't planning on adding headcount next year. And I think what you have to take into account with that as well, and obviously I can't provide like a sample or demographic of who answered that, but what you have to take into account is like there might have been agencies in there that one-man bands that weren't planning on growing anyway, right? So I think we have to take that with a pinch of salt, in which case, over 85% of agencies are planning growth for next year. And there has been a slowdown, but not to pandemic rates. and even not to the rate of pre-pandemic. Like we're still seeing agencies with very, very strong job supplies. It's just backed off from the frenetic nature that it's been operating at for the last 12 months.
Yeah. And the slight shift that I have seen is a reintroduction of business development, which hasn't happened for a year.
Agreed.
And I think that's what they're perceiving as a bit of a slowdown now that they're having to actually proactively approach clients for jobs. That's not a slowdown.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. It's 360 recruitment staff.
Yeah, but that is actually just a really good point on that one. Felt like I was patting myself on the back. It's a really good point I'm about to do.
Oh, you gave yourself a recruitment shiver.
But it is, we ran our membership session last month, was it? But there was a big want from our membership to start doing a session on reintroducing business development. And that's what I'm seeing. A lot of agency owners, team leaders, directors are having conversations with us in terms of, well, how do we reintroduce our team to business development? Because they are foreseeing a bit of a slowdown. And with that, they are going to have to get their teams to actually start proactively mapping out markets, start developing new relationships. And if those muscles aren't flexed when the slowdown comes, and it will come, let's all be honest, this recruitment does come in ebbs and flows, it will shift. And if their teams aren't prepared for it, they know what happens then. It's mass layoffs, it's trying to build your agency again, it's an absolute ball ache. And so the smart ones are actually now focusing on slowly reintroducing business development, business planning, and not just going a million miles an hour and going, we just need to fill every single role that we've got on. Don't worry about the future. We're flying high.
Yeah,
I think that moment is gone.
Approach, isn't it? It's starting to, and getting people ready to be back in that mindset. Like, okay, cool. Like I've had so many clients in the last 2-3 months get in touch being like, hey, we think we need to do some business development refresh training. What's your availability? And you know, I remember running a business development session like 8 months ago, and the consultants were like almost scoffing. Like, we are so inundated with work, we don't know why we're in this training. I'm like, because it's not always going to be like this. So you need to continue to refresh and flex the skill, even if you're not going to use them immediately. But I do think now is the time to start getting ahead on that, even if it's, like we said, creating market maps and you know, starting to suss out who might be your target audience next year, or, you know, recession-proof industries that you potentially want to start targeting, or looking at forecasting with your existing clients to see what they're scheduling for next year. I think just starting to bolster your resources and really forecast strategically with your existing clients is a good place to start. I can't, you know, inflation's going up, right? And it's continuing to go up, even though, you know, interest rates, I've just had like my 5th mortgage increase.
Oh my God, me too. It's madness.
Oh, like I got another email yesterday and I'm like, yay, great. That's great. But at some point, it doesn't feel like it's dramatic.
No.
You know, it feels like we've got to get a handle on what's happening in the wider economy. And with that, there will obviously be a knock-on effect. And for a lot of people, that has meant redundancies already. I'm cautiously optimistic at this point that it could be minimal.
Also, that's a really good point, Aura. You said sort of looking at recession-proof industries, and I was talking to a tech agency owner last night, who asked for advice on what he and the team should be looking at. And their focus has been, for the last couple of years, tech startups and scale-ups. And I'm like, holy crap. Yes, you would be not fucked right now, but they are definitely feeling it. Absolutely. They're feeling it right now because it's affecting their industry, and because they didn't have a breadth of client base, they're now feeling it very quickly, and just it slammed them. And so having that breadth of client base, I think incredibly important to be able to sustain fluctuations in what's happening in the market, because very rarely the whole market will tank. I mean, we saw this with the start of COVID. Almost every agency sort of felt the pinch, bar healthcare. They
Oh
were
my God, they were
absolutely
flying.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm not saying everyone should go into healthcare, but you should have a breadth of client base that hopefully you can sustain your business and keep it afloat and profitable, even when the market tanks. Whether that's a mixture of industry sectors, role types that you look at, geographical locations, just try and minimize the risk within your agency by having a spread. And what that spread looks like to you will be different, whether it's temp and perm spread, geographical, as I said, or industry based or role type. There needs to be, but I think everyone talks about being laser focused, and we only specialize in this.
Yeah.
That's great, but quite risky.
Yeah. And I think now is not the time to chase the sexy portfolio.
No.
Like now is the time to chase the smart portfolio. I think when the market's booming, you know, and every company is like, we need, you can really solidify some of those brands that you want to have as part of your portfolio, right? Now is not the time to be looking at your wish list. Now is the time to be thinking sensibly around what's going to make us money and what's going to keep our agency ticking if potentially we see the tech bubble explode a little.
That's funny. You said that the sexy industry, so many agencies go after that. We're with cool tech companies. And I'm like, no, I'd rather have a cool, not cool, but we've got a few aged care clients. I'm like, they will never go under. They are going to continue to fly. And we recruit their marketers for them. It's not sexy, but we know that will be continuous.
Yeah, what's considered a good client? You know, we have to get out of our minds around brands.
That's the next podcast episode.
Okay, cool. Well, we need to finish this one. I reckon we're getting longer every week. That's that. I'm calling that.
Okay.
10 minutes, it's over.
We literally are not doing any more lulls. It's just recruitment chat now.
Why are we not so dull? I feel like every week there's something in my life.
Also, I didn't say it during the episode, but your voice sounds completely different and you've not been pronouncing your S's. So instead of saying S, you're going F. I don't know. Yeah, so it must be something to do with your mic.
That's good. Yeah. Great to make me feel completely vulnerable at the end of an episode.
See you guys next week.
Bye.